that should start recording now. Okay, welcome to everyone who is going to watch it online. Welcome to everyone who is going to watch it later on Twitch or other platforms where I'm going to put it. So today we're going to continue the PZK Animated mod creation, and to start, let's kind of recap the work we did last time, which was we tried to finish the truck bus, and that should be all well and good now. Actually, okay. And here we go. Yeah, that's a bit too dark. Let's use the cheat menu to speed up the game time and watch the moon fly over the horizon till it gets yeah, that got brighter. Okay, now we don't want our tune to die, so enable god mod. So okay, here's the bus. It has the headlights. They're down there, unfortunately below the hood we can see the battery. No, I'm going to switch it a bit differently. Okay, so first of all, if we remove the headlights, we can see which ones are removed and which ones are still there. If we remove this hood, okay, you can see the battery is on the engine block, and we can also remove a lot of windows. Okay, and see how we enter the bus. Okay, switch to driver's seat. The key is in the ignition, so let's turn it around. The interior textures are kind of black. Update this texture, but I'm not going to worry about this now. Exit the bus, and we also can where's window? There is no count. We already removed the back window. We can remove the back doors. We can also remove the back lights. So yeah, and same with the battery that we saw on the truck. Battery is seen now, but if we find it in the mechanics menu and remove it. Now you can see it's gone. Same with the front two seats. If we remove one and remove both, we can see them missed. Okay, so the bus is largely done. Let me just take a moment to put everything back in there. Yeah, that is a bit of an issue because we tried to install this back windows without installing back doors first. That is fixed, and kind of similarly, if we try to install those headlights before installing the hood, they'll be hanging somewhere in there, not in place. So, but as soon as we put the hood back on, we should see the headlight correct themselves. Okay. So the bus is reassembled. Let's go to our next victims. Another vehicle we tried to do last time was the muscle car and cabrio version. For now, we see there's an issue with the left door on the full version, but other than that, there's a battery under the hood, the headlights are getting on or off, the seats are getting removed, so that's mostly everything okay. Except for, well, I see this strange divide here on the headlight. That is something we might want to fix. And this missing door. No key. No, we have the key. We have gas. We have no gas. So let's use the god powers to give counting amount. 22 units should be plenty. That's what we'll resume our work with, the muscle power. Now, let's get back to Blender. So first I need to open the correct file. And here we are. Okay. So first thing first, I want to rearrange the collections a bit. So I want to add a separate collection and call it armature. So that is going to be needed when we add the armor models, and I want to move this vehicle skeleton into it. This will unpack all the animated models here into the flat list, which should make it easier to turn them on or off on one hand, and it also keeps their ghost versions here to remind us that they are actually parented to this skeleton, but not part of the same collection. So that's one thing, and we can just switch off this skeleton for now. Okay, so the doors. We have front left full object door that is both a Boolean version of well, it has the upper frame and it is joined by this lower door here. Okay, and right door. Okay, those both look fine. So we also have the hood and we have some problem with this headlight. Let's check it out. That is not looking like it should have a problem. So maybe it is just this. The problem is with this mesh. No, it also looks about right. Okay. And on UVs also. Everything looks just fine. Okay. So maybe we will figure it out later. But the doors are an issue for now. We have both of them enabled in rendering. So let's try to re-export the models. So that's our file name, only visible objects. Actually, before we do this, we need to revisible all those hidden objects. Now armature mesh. You have to redo those export settings every time you close and then reopen the file. But in between those closing and opening bits, they should persist. Okay, muscle cabrio re-export. Now let's also check the script. Okay, let me move this. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, let's check the doors. We have the front left door, which is trying to reference front left full object out of this PZK muscle cabrio file. And in Blender, that is in fact how it should be named, front left full. Just to be safe, let's copy it from here and dump it into here. Front right door was found as a mesh, but it was not exported correctly. So hopefully that is going to be fixed with the re-export we did already. Okay, Now, please hold while I start the game. And the game is going to take the usual long time to start. Probably even longer now that I'm trying to save the recording on my hard drive. Okay, this is how you died. So the game should be loaded soon. Let me switch. Okay, and as usual I was apparently too optimistic. Now, here it is. So, not too bad. So let's pay attention to this log. We can see that the door, this door is now in place. Let's check. Now, checking like the windows are all down. We have those awkward window bits that are part of the should be here, but instead got placed here because they didn't get hooked to correct bone. So let's actually check one thing. This back window, yeah. Please enable cheats. didn't turn gray, so probably they are part of the side windows, as they should be. Okay. So to do this, we have to hook them into the vehicle bone we defined for our vehicle, and then reference this vehicle bone in both animation and in the script. So let's check if this is all done correctly. Okay, going back to Blender, check the windows. This bit here. Okay, we have the vehicle bone group. If we check the pose mode and try to move this vehicle bone, they are linked to it correctly. Okay, so that is one thing. Next thing we need to check is the animations. So the animation for window open is, yeah, that's one of them. Let's press A to select all the bones, and we see that that window animation does not reference the vehicle bone. So let's add it. The animation goes from frame 1 to frame 20. We want to select this vehicle bone and hover over rotation and location, press I to save them as keyframe. And we wanted to end just where it started, but since this no animation at all would be ignored during the exporting process or import into the game, I'm not sure which one, we need to give this animation some substance. So the way we can do this without actually having those windows jump out of place is to like move them along the axis by 0001 and save this as keyframe. So now if you're really keen-eyed, you might see this window like moving a bit during the animation, but it is not that problematic. Okay. Okay, and this one also. So that is one clip, and we need to do the same for the other window. Similarly, save positions on start frame and end frame, and in the middle apply GZ 0.0001. Okay, save the keyframe, and that should do the trick. File, save file, export FBX. All the settings are saved, so re-export the model. Now, since we didn't close the game, we can jump straight back into it, and it should re-import, but yeah, that does not fix it all. So, one thing we can do to try to fix it is to remove and reinstall those parts. So left window remove, left door remove, left door reinstall, left window reinstall. And that doesn't fix it here. So that might be an issue with the script. Let's go check it. So once again, that is our script, and we need to have a look at this window front left and see that it is in fact not referencing the vehicle bones. So we add the reference to vehicle bone here, we add the reference to vehicle bone here. Save the script, and unfortunately with the script we will need to restart the game. So I'm going to exit it and immediately start it over. So sorry for the wait. Okay. And while I wait, I probably should check one thing I really needed to check before the stream, but unfortunately I had some technical difficulties, so I got carried away. Okay. Yep, the settings look fine. Tags are, yep. Okay. So the stream info seems to be correct. Okay. Okay. Let's check back with the game as it is trying to load. Sorry a bit. And sorry for this interruption, had to shut the door to avoid some noise. Okay, the game is in main menu, now continue. Okay, so this is how you died. That seems like a good moment to switch the scene to game. And here we are. And we can see those window bits are now placed correctly. Let's open. that is like the fully stripped down vehicle to its base state. And everything is here. Why do I have two? That's one seat, one door, one front window. Okay, and just for completeness sake, yeah, the battery here. Okay, that is the vehicle stripped down, and this is basically the same vehicle, but fully assembled. I'm still a bit wondering why this line on the headlight is there. Okay, we have this. I enabled this mods for this save file, and we now have those modifications here, which might give us like windshield protection, that is that looks awful if you ask me, but okay. Like, where's the front door protection? Or trunk protection? So those simple vehicle upgrades. But those armor bits do not actually attach to the door. So that is also something we have to do, and I'll probably do those for muscle cars on this stream, just as an example. Another huge thing that I don't love about animations and SVU3 is those engine upgrades. Like here we have this large air scoop. We can install it and it's visible, but it just clips through the hood, and that doesn't really look satisfying. So let's try and fix those armor bits. To do this, we need to... Oh, hello! Welcome to my viewers. Sorry I didn't notice you right away. Got a bit carried away. So, first we need to go to Blender here and import all the existing armor that is made for this vehicle. So first thing, we create a new collection and call it armor. So that's so we can easily switch it on and off. Now let's keep the car on, make the armor active collection, go to layout, just in case, still armor the active collection, import fbx, and now we need to find the file that is corresponding to this armor. So that would be in this folder with the mod armor for SVU3, and we want this to be like, how is this Cabrio named? Those muscle cars, yeah, that's not helpful. Let's find it in the Lua script that usually makes it a bit clearer. So our Cabrio is still called just car muscle. Okay. So let's go back to Blender. Let's try to find car muscle armor. Okay. So that is the armor collection we need to import. Good. Here it is. Those armor bits, we don't need them at all. And the rest, they already got assigned to this armor collection. That is because it was active when we did the import. That's why I wanted it to be. Okay. Next thing is we want to split this collection into some sub-collections. One for static armor, one for animated armor, and also one extra just for some other stuff that I'll show you later. So, and we'll start by shift clicking on this eye icon on collection, and that makes the whole collection go invisible and also makes every single item within collection go invisible. Then we press the eye again. This makes the collection visible, but since all the items in it are invisible, we don't see anything. So, and now we can one by one enable those items. Okay, so this air scoop looks fine from this angle, but it has a problem. If we remove the hood, we can see that it is actually not attached to the engine block here. And to fix it, we can like edit this model a bit, pick this bottom plane and just move it along the z-axis till it clips here. But that also looks a bit too tall for my liking. So when I apply those air scoops to animated models, I also often try to reposition them so they are a bit lower in the hood, but not going to worry about it now. So this air scoop is now extended down, and we drop it into this extra pile. Next air scoop, same business. We make sure that it is not connected here, and so we need to extend it down. But unlike the first air scoop, we can see that this one has a bit of a sloped base. So to preserve this slope, we cannot just move it down. Instead, we press E to extrude it, then extrude that down, and once it has clipped into the engine block, we press S for scaling. No, we don't want it to be around the 3D cursor. Please use median point. So scale, and we scale it up till it lines up with the slope angle. And then we Alt click on this edge with edge select mode enabled. We double tap G to slide it down, and okay. Ah, hello Jack, hello Peter. Glad to see you here. Okay, so this is now our air scoop base that is connected to engine block and is still sloped correctly. Actually, it is a bit too big. We can just make it a bit smaller. Okay, that one into the extra pile you go. Next, this is, well, this air scoop is too big to not be brought down a notch. So we keep the hood on, select this entire mesh, and just move the whole air scoop down a bit, like so. And we will, why this move down is needed for this air scoop, it will be a bit more apparent later. But now that looks about right, and let's make sure that the base is in, we need to select the faces, bottom face, grab Z down. Okay, so that's this massive air scoop. Next, yeah, that looks about right. So we just wanted to connect. Okay. Into the extra pile we go. Sorry. This scoop has 3 faces on the bottom. So let's select them all and then move them all down. Okay, that is good too. And that is also this sloped base, so let's do the same trick. Extrude, go down till you merge with the engine block, scale up till you match the slope roughly, and slide this down. So okay, and I kind of underestimated this a bit, so let's just move it down a notch. Good, that should be the last of those air scoops. Now, next thing, let's hide the most of the vehicle. That's the vehicle, the chain tires, well, the tire chains. I'm not going to change them because they are already animated as is. But just in case I don't want to delete them, I'll drop them in this static bin. Now we get to interesting parts. This is the door armor, and we can enable this, this door to see how it fits. It mostly fits fine, but we have a few issues with clipping, especially down here. That's not a terrible thing to see, but I want to fix it. And there are 5 versions of this armor, and each one has those issues without fail. So to fix them, I will start by editing this one armor bit here. Yep. Yeah. Hello, Jack. Okay, and select those 2. Move them in a bit like this. yeah, I tried to give Twitch permission to archive my streams, but those only last for a week, and unfortunately I could not download them. So now I'm trying to also save the recording, and I will upload this to YouTube and link it in my mod. Okay. This is not clipping, but those do. So those two need to be brought up a bit, and then they also need to be brought in a bit, and that one should hide like this. Okay, so now we fixed this clipping issue for the most part, but we would have to repeat all the same process for each of those other armor pieces, and that's not something I want to do. So instead I select those frame bits, I press Shift D to duplicate it, P to select into its own, separate into its own object, and now we can like duplicate this a handful more times. Like we need 4 copies. And when we open another armor version here, we can select those frames we will be replacing, delete them, and instead have it joined with a copy of the fixed attachment points. Okay, so that is done. That same deal here. Okay. And all those door armors are done. So now let's enable all those door armor bits, and since the door is animated, we drop them into animated pile. Okay. Next, this dummy is needed for some texturing fixes, so not going to worry about it. I'll be happy to use the one already in the armor bits. Oh. The barbed wire around the light bars. Yeah, that's something doable. Okay, but maybe I'll do it later. Okay, now hood. The hood protection is also animated, and if we enable the hood, we can see that it is also having some problems with attachment, and here it is rather bad. Like this looks like it didn't attach to the hood, and in reality that kind of armor placement would prevent you from opening the hood. So that would require some more diligent rework. Okay, let's do it. So first of all, we start again by creating the correct attachment points. So first thing first, let's just separate those bits into their own objects so we can uh, edit it and not worry about this armor plate. Go to view from above. Now move those in no, transparent selection. Move all of those in a bit and those scale them by X so they kind of line up with the HUD outline. Okay, so that those ones, let's select them. Should be a bit closer here, and maybe those also a bit closer here. Now we have those problems with the attachment bits clipping through the hood, and to fix it, well, we will have to reposition those vertices. Well, first let's start by straightening this a bit like this. This one looks fine, this one looks fine, and this one we kinda lost. That is unfortunate. Let's re-separate it and then merge it together with those. Okay, now to get rid of those extending bits, we can use the magnet tool and make it stick to the face. Now we select those vertices one by one, make them slide along the edge, and here we target where the face, where that they should be connected to is, and the position is picked automatically. So that's the power of magnet tool. Oops, nope. When you're working with this slide, you have to be a bit finicky which edge you slide along. So that is the correct one, but we could have accidentally misplaced this vertex. Okay. Oops. And okay. So the attachments are now done, which makes me happy. Next, let's adjust this armor plate so it fits those attachment points. 7 for the top view, and if we no, turn off the magnet mode, and if we just slide those vertices along their existing edges into the attachments, that would allow us to preserve the texture and make this armor plate fit where it should be with less effort than it would otherwise take. Now take a copy of this attachments and join it in here. This armor bit is now going to animated pile, and we need to work with other armor bits. So, okay, this has the cutout for the error scoops, but it is basically the same armor. Let's remove its faulty attachment points. Now take take those vertices and slide them till they are correctly attached. Okay. And so what I see here is that it has some no, not that many cars in. If the game is still running, yep. Let me just show you. So what currently we have is this flat rear sedans in all their versions. Then we have those two-door variants of basically the same sedan, and also we have the animations for the bus. And like I showed it before, you can disassemble some bits of this bus, like the tail lights can be on or off, and that is also already on the model. And with this bit here, we have all the animations for the muscle car and all the disassembly process visible here. And let's drop the headlights too. Also, I kind of wish that Project Zomboid would recognize when the vehicle is missing some wheels, so it is not lifted off the ground like this on some virtual bricks. But for now, that's how it is. And now I'm currently explaining how we animate the armor, because like this air scoop clipping through the hood and not being connected to the engine block here, which would be more obvious if we drive around. I'm going to fix it. So back to Blender. Okay, so here I see some issues with this oh, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't notice about getting in contact about some animated armor, but I guess this stream will be a good help. So here I see some problems with the textures. Like if we select those bits here and go to UV editing mode, those are all over the place, which is not good. Those are not critical because people would barely see this edge, but there's an easy fix to this. So first we start by deleting all those faces. Now we select we select the edges here, which do not select. They don't select because we are not in proper quads. Like this face here is a bit confusing for Blender to work with. So instead, let's cut some edges here. So instead of one of this C-shaped face, we have 3 quads. And quads are really convenient for Blender. Like it can add an edge loop along all 3 because it knows like which edge is the opposite of one it's cutting now. So that is preferable. Next, cut here, and since those are all now quads, if we alt click here, we select this whole loop here. Now E for extrude, Z for constraining it to Z axis, and now we want to a little bit of help from our magnet tool. So we want to stick to vertices. We want to also focus on active vertex. Let's make this vertex active so it is selected as white. And move and stick active vertex to here. And that should link them all up together nicely. Okay, yeah, we have this hood object. Okay, let's cut those edges here too. That is not necessary, but just some better topology for the model. Okay, edge, sharp by angle, Alt N, average face area. So that's our armor plate, and you can see that it is now textured, basically stretched the texture from how it was on the edge here. And they're not perfectly matching in here, but hope nobody is going to see it. Oh, the stuttering. Yeah, I'm sorry if the quality is not the perfect one. Maybe one day when I get better hardware. Add the attachment points, and that one is good to be in the animated pile. Now, heavy spiked. Oof. That one is going to give us some trouble. But we can deal with it. So first thing we do is we obviously want to get rid of those faulty attachment points, but I also want to get rid of the main armor plate here. So like this, and have only the spikes left. Now in the top view we can select those spikes and move them along X till they're about right based on the attachment points. So, oh, yeah, okay. Clean up, merge by distance. We had a lot of doubled up vertices, which now we got rid of. Okay, so those spikes are a bit too wide to fit within those attachment points, and I apparently didn't select all of them. Okay, let's work with transparent select mode instead. That should give us more control. Okay, so some spikes are not fitting between those attachment points, and we can fix it by scaling them down by x-axis, so like this. Now this row of spikes also should be scaled closer together, and same with the rest of the outliers. Okay. And yeah, that line too. Okay, now let's select them somewhere more convenient again. Okay, like this. So now we have this spikes object. We can separate into its own thing because we'll need it elsewhere. So we just separate all those contents into their own mesh, and that mesh is now technically existing but empty. And to fill it, we want to copy those spikes, and we want to take a copy of, no, not this one, we want this object here, the heavy front bit. So we make a copy, and now this object and this object go into this object, Control J, and we have this spiked front armor. And that one goes into animated. Next, we have scooped front heavy armor. We go into mesh, we press A to select all, and we no longer need any of it, because we can take and make another copy of those spikes, get the magnet off, then we can get a copy of this scooped heavy armor, and this one go into this one. Now we have to make one more thing here, because those three spikes are hovering in mid-air, which is not what we want, so we select them and delete them. And that is our heavy spiked scooped hood armor. Next thing is light. Okay. So just like we did before, we remove those bits here, and we need to slide those bits in so they are not sticking out. Okay. Copy attachments, join them in here, and that is our light hood armor. Next, that is scooped light. Same deal as with general light. Okay. Copy attachments, join into the animated pile. Next we have the spiked variants. And just like what we did with the spiked versions of the heavy armor, we can just get rid of this whole mesh. Instead, take copy of the light and copy of those spikes. So shift duplicate them. No, it wouldn't allow me. So no, K. Shift duplicate, not control duplicate. Those two objects. Move them here. Oh, what's the idea to remove the clutter? Maybe I can help. Okay, and we have assembled the light spiked front armor. Move it here. Next thing, spiked this one. Remove and those two, shift duplicate and Control J and remove those hanging mid-air. Okay. Oh, so make the spikes their own bit. Okay, yeah, I can see how that might work. But that would require rewriting some of the select model by mod data from the tsarlib. And there is an issue with dynamic tarps then, because it also wants to rewrite this get model by mesh model by mod data function. Okay, now we have the reinforced armor bits. Those are my least favorite to edit attachment points of. Mostly because you can't just move them in as easily. So remove those faulty attachments and instead go to top view, transparency, select G by X till we have this kind of in the middle, then scale it down, and that bit here should be in. Same with those two. They should be flatter. Okay, now okay, that is the main reinforced armor fitted with the proper attachments. So make a copy here, and actually no, don't make a copy here, just join with this object. There's no other armor bits we want. But this scooped version, it has this hole in the middle, which, if we try to rescale just the edges, is going to distort the armor in the middle, so not ideal. But we have a solution. So move cursor to the world origin, Shift A to add, mesh cube. Edit this cube, and I want it to be roughly positioned where those scooped armor holes are. So that is the top side. This here. And here. So does this look about right? Needs some more fiddling. Okay, so that is our stencil. We can use this cube to punch a hole in the armor, and not just armor. So with this reinforced scooped armor, I want to select all the vertices and delete them. And to fill this armor again, we take this copy of this armor bit, join it in here. Yeah, that one can go animated, and to put the hole into this armor, we select the modifiers, add generate boolean, and as an object we select the cube. Okay. And we apparently punched the hole in the wrong armor. Did we? Yes. So I added modifier to the whole armor bit. Okay, no worries. Just select correct object, remove the modifier from there, and redo the actions. And that makes not much sense, but if we switch it to fast mode, it breaks it a lot less. So that is our armor. Actually, if we try to mesh clean up, no, there is no vertices to clean up. Okay, so that is our punched armor. Apply, and now we need to fix those edges here, because they are, well, first of all, they're not quads, and I explained that Blender prefers them to be quads, and secondly, they are all over the place. So we want to delete all those faces. We want to cut those C-shaped planes into combinations of quads for better topology, and so we can select an edge loop. Okay, now edge, select the whole edge around, extrude down. Now magnet to vertex active, that's correct. Vertex mode, this vertex is active. Move and clamp. And that gives us the proper edge here. And we also might want to like fix those faces here, but that's not the big deal. Another thing with this armor that it needs is like set sharpness by angle, re-average faces, and that is done. Yeah, 5:50 a.m. Well, that's a bit early. So maybe it would be better if I move this stream like a couple hours later, though we have like, I plan like 2.5 more hours of streaming. Okay, well, anyway, the hood armors are all done. We no longer need those spikes. Plows and push bars are all static armors. So that one goes static pile. Next, roof lights and roof racks and snorkel, those are also all static armors. Now, trunk. The trunk is also not armored on the animated bit, so all those trunks go into the static pile as well. Now we have those windows, which don't really line up with the window. And that's going to be a bit of a mess. I would have to remodel them, all those armor bits, if I want them to attach properly. So for now, I'm just gonna accept them as is and throw them into the animated pile. Next, front window is also, like I mentioned in the game at the start, that is not the way I would see it attach, but well, whatever. Okay, actually here I see this might be a bit of an issue. I see this face here is missing, and that is part of the cabrio, yes? Yeah. Okay, so those faces in here and in here apparently got the wrong facing. Alt N to flip them. That's correct. That is now better. But with those changes, I'd probably have to re-export this model, which is not big deal. We still have all the correct export settings, saved up here. Okay, yeah, it's all here. So re-export this fixed to the model. Next, armor. What do we have left? Window front, window rear. Those are static. I'm not going to edit them. And that is about all of this. Okay. Good. Now we have all the armors sorted. And we need to attach all those armor bits to their correct bones. So to do this, we make only them visible and only add the armature. Now we select everything. How do I do this? Nope. Okay, we select everything. We make sure that the armature is active and Control P, armature deform. Okay, so the armor bits, they remain in this collection, but this armature will now also feature those armor bits here because they are parented. But just being parented does not mean they get animated. We also need to add correct bone weights there, or vertex groups. So to do this, let's take this bone name and go to all objects that should be linked to it. Add a vertex group, make it named as the bone. Now edit mode, select all assigned to this bone. Now if we go to pose mode, this one heavy armor that we processed, if we move this bone, it is connected correctly. So just repeat the same process for the rest of the objects. So that is also front left bone. Select. Okay, so the hood, they use their own bone, but the window armors, they have they are linked to the same door bone, not the window bone, because we wouldn't expect the armor to roll down with the window. Okay. Okay, let's now double check. Pose mode, select this bone, rotate around Z, and all armor bits are rotating correctly. Good. Now, hood armor, sorry, object mode, select the hood armor, vertex group, and the bone is named hood bone. Let's copy that, select all, assign, and assign. Oops, select it. Okay. So all those hood armors should be now linked to the bone. Let's check this pose mode, select the hood bone, rotate around X, and yeah, they look fine. But there's still one thing that is not looking fine, and that is, where is it? It should be here in static mode. No, that's not in static, that is in extras. So we have those air scoops, and if we disable all those non-scooped armor versions, we see that there's a hole that those scoops fit into. And as the armor moves up, it kind of misses those, well, it might clip those pipes a little bit, but not in a critical way. So that makes sense. But we have another object that is linked to this same bone. And that is this hood here, which is solid. So just like we have scooped versions of the armor that let those air scoops pass through. We need a hole in the hood. So let's do this. Let's switch off the armor for now. Let's make a copy of this hood object. The way I usually name those hoods is hood scooped object. And we already had this stencil cube we used to punch the hole in some armor bits. So we can add a modifier, boolean, difference with the cube, and if we switch off this base mesh, we get to see that, yeah, the hole is there. And why did we lose the texture? Me wonders. Oh no, maybe the texture is right, but it's just the black one. Okay, never mind. So this punched the hole, but we have a bit of an issue here. Well, first of all, if we try to check if that hole gets animated correctly and try to move it, you can see that that's not what we expected to see. The hole should be static. So to fix this, we might want to switch the order of modifiers. So currently the Blender thinks that we first want to animate this part, and then wherever it got animated, we want to punch a hole through it. So switch those two modifiers in places. So now we first punch the hole and then we want to animate it. But that is also not working correctly, because this hole here, that is not punched with the bone weights in mind. So to do this correctly, we will have to go here and apply this modifier, and then go to vertex groups and reassign all those new vertices into the hood bone group. So once we do this and go to pose mode, now this hole is animated the way we expected. And it kind of, well, it does not clear the air scoops, sadly. So it does clear them here in this top bit, but here we want it to be a bit further forward. Okay. Okay, so here we still, I returned the operations back to where we had this modifier. Now let's enable those air scoops and make sure that this stencil cube is accounting for this bit here. So just move it a bit further forward. Good. Remove the cube. We also have the problem here at the back. So edit the cube. No, no magnet. So stencil like this. Yep, that now looks about right. So go to hood object apply this Boolean modifier, and reassign all new vertices to correct vertex group. So this time we are expecting to see it work. Okay, good. So it clears the top quite safely and it fits on the bottom. Okay. So now we have the left door's armor, but we also have the right doors, and with static armor we could just use this invert by X property to copy the models. With animations we don't have this option because we need to link them to correct bone. So to do this, we select all the door and all the armor objects like this. Now Shift D to make a copy of them. Around the 3D cursor in the center, S X by X to -1. So that is mirroring those armor bits to the right side. And Control A to apply rotations and scale. So those objects are now not having this scale -1 here, because that would confuse the import into game. And yeah, probably should have done it while they were selected after copying, but I can easily find them by this 001 thing here and drop them into the extras collection. And why don't they move? Okay. I'm confused. Yeah, we had to make it a bit larger so it fits not just over the top but on the bottom. But I can make it even larger. That's like okay, let's roll back those changes here. Okay, and if we wanted to make it to be even larger, okay, sorry. Let's check this. So let's go, yeah, when we still have this modifier here, we can make this stencil cube like, no, not the cursor, median point a bit larger, and that will result in even larger cutout. But I kind of feel like too big of a cutout compromises the hood integrity. So, oh yeah, that looks kind of nice. Okay, now apply, assign, and that is good. Now, to still deal with those doors and windows. First thing, I see that those armor bits, they are not centered at the origin, which might be problematic for animations. To fix their origins, we make sure that the cursor is at the world origin, and then go to Object, Set Origin, add 3D Cursor. The objects stay in place, but their origin points all get clamped into cursor. So that's an easy fix. Now, all the door armors and all the window armors, once again, copy, scale by X at -1, apply rotation and scale, and move them into the extra collection. And I am really not certain how they get assigned to both collections at the same time. Why? But, well. So if I select it here, it also shows it selected here. If I select it here, it's also selected here. So those are the same objects, but why are they in both collections? So let's try to move this to like parent collection first. No, still does not help it. Never mind. I'll just have to deal with it sometime later. Well, now we need to fix those names. So this should be named not left 001, but right instead. Let's copy this right and just use this to paste it here. Same with Windows. And we're kind of lucky that we have only one pair of doors. With multiple doors, that would have been more confusing. Well, we'd have to alternate not just left-right, but also like this front and rear for different bits. Okay. Now, we have them named correctly, but they are still linked to this bone here. So if we try to rotate this bone, that's not moving those bits of armor. But if we move this bone, that armor gets moved. And to fix it, that's related to those vertex groups. So we want them to reference not front left door bone, but front right door bone. Just copy this whole name and then paste it into all the elements we want to change. Okay, last check. Rotate. Now this armor is linked correctly and this armor is here. Good. We don't need any additional animations. We can just share the same bones we do with those. Save the work, and we can now export the armor file. In Vanilla Vehicles Animated, I actually export armor files separately from the vehicle file, because not all the people who want to, well, because people have to turn on this SVU compatibility patch separately. So what do you think? Should we make this armor compatibility for PZK Animated also a separate submod, or have just one mod and then it detects if the armor is enabled and then patches it in? Because I'm kind of leaning to the second option. So and I'm going to proceed with the second option for now. And the difference is, what do we export? So if we are just having one mod with both armor and the animated doors, then we just export both armor and car into the same FBX file. So let's do this. PZK muscle cabrio FBX, the same stuff here. And unfortunately that would mean PZK muscle cabrio, that's 260 kilobits now, kilobytes, but after we export the armor in it, that swells to 830, because the armor are kind of vertex intensive, especially the spiked bits. And those vertices with their bone groups, that's kind of getting in the way. So, but for now, yeah, that should give us the FBX file we need, and the next steps are with the scripts. So okay, so that is our mod folder, scripts, vehicles. Let's make a separate subfolder for SVU armor, because those since SVU3 is only adding more armors. Yeah, so I think we can agree then that this should be one mod that is soft dependency detecting the SVU. Okay, now make a text document with PZK ASVU muscle car armor. So first we want to make sure that we define a module, then we want to import all the animated models here. And to do this, let's go to base PZK vanilla and take the scripts for armors from here. SVU3 models, and where is this muscle car? Okay, yeah, car muscle here. That's one thing. Okay, first thing, modifications. We don't need the rack or bull bars, and or roof lights, but those air scoops, we did change their models, so we want to redefine them. And okay, here. Okay, why is it none? Dummy. Okay, so we don't need this model here actually. Only those we redefined. Just for the sake of formatting 4 spaces or a tab, we can make them uniform. I prefer tabs to 4 spaces just because that's 1 character, not 4, and it's easier to jump, well, to make sure that's the correct indentations. Now, we want to reference correct mesh file here. Our correct mesh file is this one. So let's copy this name and replace any mention of this model name here with a right file. Replace all. Okay, so now object names, they stay the same. Another thing that okay, rusted models, medium, rusted, large and rusted, piped and rusted, round rusted, large round rusted. Okay, those all look fine. Next, we want the doors and windows and hood armors. And those are spread here across the 3 files. I'll just mush them into one. Okay, window front left, front right. And that is all. I don't want those rear left, rear right windows. Okay, now there should also be front left, front right spiked windows. And I want also to get the door models. Oh, there's also hoods here. So hood light, scooped, and almost forgot about them. Okay, and there should also be spiked hood and spiked scooped hood. So those get here, and finally the doors. Door front left, front right. Well, light rusted. I don't want rusted. I want just the doors, and I want them just the front doors. I'm not sure why you export those armors because they are not needed for this car, but I guess that's just the copy-paste errors. And we want spiked door armor here too. We have it. Yes, nope, that's light rusted. That's spiked rusted. Is this here light spiked? Okay, those are light armors. Oh. But we want to modify all those armors a bit, and then I'll probably not copy from other files, but just modify those to represent heavy armor and reinforced armor too. So first thing first, is get consistent formatting. Next on the agenda is the file names. And done. Okay. And finally, since those window, door, and since windows and door armors are getting animated, we want them to not be static anymore. So what we need to do is to first use a different shader. Here we want to use, let me get this example from one of my mods. Workshop, vanilla vehicles animated, SVU patch. How is it called? So we wanted to have this, vehicle armor shader and static false and then some bone reference. So here with this window, we can't use the texture with this shader. That's going to be to work a bit differently. Now static false and bone weight is in fact front left door bone. Though the scale is different. Okay. That is all correct except for the bone reference. That is front right bone. That window is correctly front left. That window is front right, and it also, just realized that those things here, since we no longer use this invert X, we need to reference correct item here. Good. Hood. That's the same, but we use the hood bone. Nope. Those are doors already. Okay. So let's check this. Front left door, copy this. Front right, front left, copy this. Front right. Let's copy from the right windows. And same as before. Right and right. Now, just to make reading this a bit more, well, to my liking, not sure if that is objectively better or just that. I want to put all those front left windows together, then separate by line, front right windows together, hoods all together, separate doors both front left together like this and front right together like this. So that would make them a bit easier to find, like all everything related to this front left window is in one place. Now we need to copy those bits here to get heavy versions. Then heavy spiked. And now we need also one for reinforced. And that one I'm probably going to copy from here. That's like the window front left. Where is it? Window reinforced left, that one. Okay. Window front reinforced left. Same deal with the front right windows. Copy. And this one remove. Reinforced. Okay. Hoods. Hoods also need to be copied. That is for heavy. That is for reinforced. And for reinforced, we only want there to be one thing. Okay, now let's apply the name correctly. reinforced. Reinforced. Okay, those all models are defined with one exception. I don't want them to clash with the same named models if they're used in a different car. So all those models I added, I will prefix with like PZK-A. Actually, probably could do the flat replace with like this, since they are already all prefixed. And now just also replace this to fix this blunder. Okay, so now all those models have their unique names. They are all defined. They're all pointing to correct meshes, textures, bone weights. That should be what we need. Next, we want to make the patches to templates themselves. So let's go here. That's not the folder I want. Maybe this is the folder I want. Yes. Now SVU3. And we want to make this car muscle. Take some hints from here. So that is our the main armor template we want to modify. Okay, so let's copy it. And then we will remove a lot of bits from it. So, first of all, we also prefix this PZK-A SVU3 armor, SVU3 armor. So error scoops. Those models we want to use our PZK-A variants here for all those scoops. Oops. Okay, but all this code here, we are going to reuse it from existing template as is, because we're not replacing, we're adding another template on top of it. So we don't need all this code. For snorkels, we don't modify them, so just remove this whole definition here. Then this part here, we also going to use this template reference from the original armor template we keep. So no need for the lines like this. So, but at the same time, here we have a window front left part. We need to reference our correct models. So, and there are going to be some other changes. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to define parent, because this part is animated, but we don't define animation clips for it specifically. We want it to be attached to the door that is animated. So we say that the parent for this part is how is it called? Nope, not this. Yeah, this one is the door front left. So that should link the animations. And secondly, here we have those rusted models, but we didn't define rusted models here because the difference would have been just this texture here. And the animated parts, they don't read textures from this bit here. So we will have to use a hack away from this. And instead, for all those rusted bits, we just reuse the same modal definitions as for normal parts. And that is going to work later. Okay, reinforced rusted. Okay, same deal with front right window. It obviously uses parent, though that is not front left door, that is front right door. Then we use those extra prefixed models. And we don't separate between rusted or non-rusted variants. Good. Windshield is static, so we don't need this whole block. Windshield rear, same deal, we don't need this whole block. Trunk is also static, so go away. And the next thing we keep is this front door template. So those just as well use parent definition for front left door. They use the extra prefixes. Why? Okay, so formatting here is back in order, formatting here is now in order, and this model light. Okay, PZK, yep. And no Rusted. Whoops. Okay, hood is also getting animated. So first, let's get rid of rusted suffix here. Okay. Hood is also getting animated, so it needs this parent property here. But what it is parented to? Well, the hood is named engine door as a part, so that's what we copy here. Yeah, that really looks tedious for the first time, but after that, we should be able to copy and modify this existing template. So that's fortunately just a one-time hurdle. So bull bars not modified, tires not modified, wheel armors not modified, roof lights not modified, trunks not modified. So all begun. Now, this is going to take care of the animated bits, but we have another thing to take care of, and that is some extra code uh, to switch the hood with the air scoop, well, based on the existence or absence of air scoop. So to do this, we go to my vanilla vehicles animated mod and take a hint from here. So first of all, we want to make another model definition for the scooped hood like this. Okay. So set the correct prefixes, set the correct vehicle name, use correct uh, file name from here, and this is also use correct name definition here and the scale. Okay, so that's our correct extra hood definition. Now, to add it, we need to copy this bit of part definition from here. So that is, let's put it also at the top of the definition here. It defines an extra model for the scoop, which we need to reference this model here. And it uses some extra code in install and uninstall, which is 88 tuning install complete scooped hood. Those are functions we'll need to copy into the mod. So those two, this function checks if there was an air scoop installed, then it switches the model to scooped one or keeps the default one. This one just clears all models, and then we need to define extra two functions for when the vehicle is just created for the first time or when it gets loaded from the memory and initialized. The same check: if the air scoop is installed, we use the scooped model. If it's not installed, we keep default one. And now for air scoops, there's a little bit of code too, but unfortunately it's not in here. Well, fortunately I think I already copied it here. Nope, I did not. Well, anyway, if we go here, that is this file scoop fix, and let's copy this template and go to that's going to be a shared script for many vehicles, so I'll put it here in this utility scripts file. And give it a proper prefix. So this makes the air scoops also use those additional checks on install and uninstall to alternate the hood model. Okay, and now as you noticed, we removed those rusted bits from any animated models here, and we need to copy an extra fix for this too. So those would be this bit from down here. Okay, let's copy it like this. So all parts with protection, they get defined two extra models for normal and rusted anchors. We need to get those files correctly. So I'll have to double check where they are. So models, let's check this car muscle, and guess that would be mods. So roof rack, plow, chain tires, dummy. Okay, so that is, well, we can use this as our normal dummy, and this is, no, that's the same one. Don't we have those dummies defined? No? Okay. That just means we need to add those two model definitions. Dummy car muscle normal, and rusted. And the difference between those two is just like with air scoops here, we want to use this texture instead. Okay. Oops. Okie dokie. And just give them the suffix. Since we are adding them here, that's the suffix we want. Okay, so we add those two dummies, and then we redefine their install and uninstall, create and init functions. We keep the update function as it was. For all protection bits, because all those parts, they start with ATA2 protection, so this modification should apply to all of them. Now we need to copy those functions. Okay, here media, this Lua, that I believe should be in server code. Get to this mod here, media Lua scripts server, ATA2 extensions. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe those functions are also made part of the SVU3 framework. So might be we don't need to copy them. Let's just test this theory. So without those functions, just this. And we have this vehicle PZK, sorry. We now need to apply this template too. So we go to add animations, and here, if SVU3 is active, we want to apply this template too. Okay, how do we check? Yes. Contains okay, I think that's the name of the core. Then we need to okay. Yeah, I think I modified this function too much. Okay. That is the patch armor, and I don't think I used the correct call from here. Okay. Well, let's for now just make a call like this. We want muscle car, well, full muscle car here, and apply as template. The template name from what we created. Where is that? Here. Okay, and module. And while we're at it, let's make a copy of this template. And that copy is going to be called PZK Muscle Cabrio. And it is going to include most of the same stuff except the window armors, because we don't have window armor on the cabriolet. So doors, hood, other protection bits like this. Okay, that should be how we link the armor animations. So let's restart the game. So I'm going to give you some pretty screen while I enjoy the black screen of game loading. So main menu is loaded. These are the end times, and we still have a couple minutes to wait till it loads the game. Okay, and the game is loaded. So the first thing I notice is this air scoop is installed, but the code model did not get alternated, so that might still require us getting some code done. And next thing, let's check. Nothing too scary here in the log, but the armor is not animated. That's a pity. Well, did we not get did we not get something right in the animations linking process, or we messed the script up? That's what I'm curious about. Based on this armor not getting animated at all, I guess this the template did not get applied. So let's just double check that this is also the case here. Enable vehicle cheats. Put the hood on. Okay, and let's try some of the air scoops. And the air scoop is installed, and it is in fact not the elongated one to make contact with the engine block, so no, we did not get the correct scripts applied. Too bad. Well, that's something I'd have to figure out. So, exit game. Okay, yeah, I think I see the problem. See this dot here? That means I forgot to press Ctrl S, and that is why we did not get this block execute. So let's try to restart the game, now that I have fixed this dumb issue. Oh, hello, Omega Lul. Okay, let me read. What is slight misalignment with animated parts from, for example, both front doors are slightly off to the left side and the hood is the same. In Blender, those parts are perfectly aligned, but not in the game. So, there are two things that may be at play there. First thing is the origin points of those parts. Make sure they are all originating in the world origin, so like coordinates 0, 0, 0. And the next thing is what is your simplifying on the export bit, because sometimes when the game imports the animations, it thinks, well, it ignores the edge frames if they're too simplified, so it might not fully complete the animation, and I had some misalignment issues caused by this. So that is why I set the simplify rate to 0.1 instead of 1. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm goofing up because the game is currently loading and that locks my computer. So those are theoretical explanations. while the save file is getting loaded, the origins I was talking about is this dot here. Like for all animated parts, you want to make sure it is at the world origin. And the way you ensure it is you first press Shift S and here select set cursor to world origin. And then you select all the parts, like press A, and go to Object, set origin to 3D cursor, and that should reset all origins to where they should be. Sorry, a bit of a hiccup. And another thing that might be in play is if you export to FBX, there's this setting for simplify rate for animations. And if that is set to 1, I had some instances where it would like ignore the edge frames, and that would result in incorrect door or HUD placements. Okay, so hope that helps. If it doesn't, then I'd have to look at how the model is set up to help further. Okay, so let's try to switch to game. Hopefully it will load soon. Okay, so once again the air scoop is visible and not attached to the engine block, so that didn't apply our new budget animations, and the doors will not be animated also. So that was not the root of the problem, which is on one hand bad, on the other hand, well, we'll just have to figure it out. Okay. Close the game. Okay. Let's see, what else can we do? Well, one obvious thing to do would be to like make those calls into something more sensible. So, sorry, I'll just put you here for a bit. Okay, so I double checked, and SVU3 does in fact contain those functions. We would need to alternate the scooped hoods. Now let's check this one function call I wanted to copy. So here we have this SVUC set armor function. Though to properly get it, we probably need to require it. And not sure. Okay, let's just try it like this. So SVUC. Okay, and I think I know why this thing we tried before broke, because we referenced some module here which did not exist. Okay. Yeah, we have model overrides here in this muscle car. For the scoops, we define our own models with those prefixes here. And so that shouldn't conflict with another scoop, even if the load order is wrong. Okay, so those, this might be the fix we were looking for, so let's try again. And I really wish there would be less of this trial and error on stream, but oh well. Guess I'm not that good yet. And after all, that's part of the process, so maybe that is also fun to watch, how I struggle. So the game is loaded, and I found another issue that I didn't account for before. So unfortunately, that's going to immediately be a fail state, I'm afraid. So okay. So, and the thing that I noticed that I didn't before is this instruction here. So I named it Standard Vehicle Upgrades 3, but that should be Standard Vehicle Upgrades 3 Core. So that is what I was looking for. So now I have fixed it, saved it, and back to loading the game. Okay. And why don't you start? Okay, there we go. I'm just going to take you on this journey of the game loading with me this time. Hopefully it's not going to break. Because I alt-tabbed out of it. Yeah, okay, it's fine. So loading modes. Okay. That was a bit disconcerting, this error here. And because that means, first of all, yeah, that we got some breakthrough, that we're now moving forward to a different place, but it also means that the game might not load at all. So I'll have to now close the game, go to logs folder, okay, so this is the Zomboid folder, logs, and this is the latest log we generated during this game start. So let's check. And yeah, here we have some errors, so the game wouldn't be able to load. And the errors point to a line 120 of the PZK Add Animations Lua. So what is this line? So here that is, yep. So that is SVUC. So let's try to, which one is this? Nope, not here. So we want this file. Is it Is it written like this? I'll have to double check. The Lua syntaxes. I have a use case in here in dynamic tarps. Media, Lua, shared, apply, and yep, that is require and in quotation marks. Okay, let's try this one. If that fixes the game crash we just had. Okay, loading modes, loading translations, loading scripts. Looks like we got past this error we had before. So hopefully we'll hit the main menu now. Or not. That's loading Lua. This might be where we crash. Let's monitor the error numbers. Nope. Got the loading textures and loading game. Okay, so that require statement was what it took. Still, still got an error. Well, let's check the log again. So, logs, this new log, what is the error? Should be somewhere close to the bottom. Nope, it's not close to the bottom at all. So SVUC stuffs line 11 or call. Okay, template not found. What? Okay, I think, yeah, this is what caused our error now. Let's delete this. Good. So that should finally get us where we want to be. Or at least closer to where we want to be. still got an error, but I'm going to ignore it for now and just go loading, and we'll check this error later. And apparently the previous time the last time it was caused by the Cabrio, so we should at least have the normal muscle car linked to animation scripts. These are the end times, and you can see how it slowly transitions to the next bit. There was no hope of survival. This is how you died. And usually when that is fading is when I switch to bring the stream into the game, but this time you can see just what I see. Okay, and we can see that even the Cabrio all got those animations linked in. Well, some of them. Not the door, but at least it got the scooped hood correctly. And if we remove this air scoop, if we remove it, nothing happens because apparently it's not linked to everything. Okay. That's something to work on a bit more. And we can still see that even though there is a hole for the scoop itself is still not the right model. So there was something wrong with this error we witnessed. So let's check what it was. Okay, now logs folder. This is the log we now should be looking at, not this one. Okay. Okay, PZK add animations line 122. Do vehicle param, standard growth rate. So what does it say? Okay, that's this comma at the end of it. Okay. But at least we got some of those something working. And maybe if we get rid of this error too, that would be working fine. Let's just double check that we have the right name for the Cabrio armor script. Yep, that's the right name here. So the engine door was working. Is it some formatting broken in here? No. No, doesn't look like it. Okay. Yeah, another thing I actually forgot, because we have this PZK air scoop fix. This is also something we need to call here. And for now, I'm going to add this as those two separate lines. Later, I'll combine them into one call, because this second template name doesn't really change from car to car. Okay, start. Okay. Oops, sorry. So the main menu loaded. There are no lower red errors this time, so that's a good thing, a good sign. Yeah, I still see this air scoop as wrong. Maybe if we first, let's enable the cheats. Okay, so first let's enable the cheats. Where they enabled? Yep. And now try to install some AirScoop. And that does not adjust the hood. But if we exit the game and then come back, I'm pretty sure it will change. That means that some of the script is working, not all of it though, for some reason. And why would that be? Actually, let's... Okay, so there are no unexpected parts visible here. That's good. Let's try to find this. Okay, I know. AirScoop round roasted model. Small, small. Okay. So the model names do match. Let's focus on the Cabrio script first. Okay, we don't need this actually. So did we not export the scoops? No, we did export the scoops. And they are modeled correctly here. Okay. Do we have... What is the name of that file? So let's find when this file... Okay, didn't want to open it, I wanted just to copy the name of this file. So let's find this file name in the log. And yep, here is our problem. So this, yep, SVC stuffs, no, that's, yes, PZK add animations is being loaded before this file we want it to load after. So basically we apply our template and then the base PZK template gets applied over it. So this is probably what's causing us the issue. And to fix it, we just want to add another require statement here, and we will say that we want to wait for this file before we apply all those actions. So let's just let's try this one. Oops, and oh, well, hello to everyone who is watching, lurking, and all the rest. And we should be in. and I already can see this error scoop is attached. So that's good. On the downside, I no longer see this door armor. So there is something. Another error scoop, and there is a hole in the end. This is working as intended. Now if we try to add some reinforced scoop protection, that did install apparently, but the model is not showing. Cool, we're making progress. So let's check what might be causing the issue with the doors. Okay, Blender, doors, and I already see the problem here. So here you can see that the scale values are not 111. So that might be causing issue with animated parts. So instead we select all, we press Ctrl A to apply rotations and scales. So now all those armor bits, they are scaled at 1 and rotations and positions are 0. So that would be one thing that might get in the way. And maybe that is all there is to it. So let's save, let's re-export and restart the game. So okay, so that wasn't the issue. We fixed the scale, but the armor is still not here. And that means that is something different. Okay. So let's just reassemble this car then. So mechanics, we want to install the battery. There it is. Now install. Okay. Apparently it didn't even have to pick it up. So it installed, but it's not visible. Okay. Why though? So another thing we need to check would be here this extra protection here, 88 tuning, create anchor tuning. Let's check if that is in fact also part of this SVU3 core. Okay. Yep, here they are. Anchor tuning. Set anchor model. Set model anchor. And judging by this print, that does run. Okay. Materials is only one. UV maps, well, we have at least one, so there's not an issue here. Mhm. Okay, one thing I want to check also. Okay, so there is vehicle armor shader in SVU3. Well, that got me a bit at a loss. So the bone names are correct, especially this hood bone, which also does not appear there. So we have static, false set correctly. Parent. Maybe those are not correct statements. So if we check as an example those window front right, we have this parent equals door front left. So this should be similar to, yeah, it's the same instruction. So those are fine. And we don't get any complaints about the missing mesh, so those files should be correct. Those scales probably are not correct, but they shouldn't have any effect on the car. Okay. File and model names match. Yeah, I think I'll have to figure it out on my own at a later pace, at a later date. And now I unfortunately need to cut this stream a bit short. So thank you to all who were watching. I hope you had some fun. And I will be seeing you next time. Okay, bye bye.